Loktargar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another orc mode workout. And today I thought I would sample and see where my sumo deadlift is. Wasn't happy at all. Now, wasn't that the weight was heavy, said I had a grip slip. Been training my hook grip. My hook grip's been setting correctly. My thumbs are tough. I had no thumb discomfort from any of this today. All right. But based on my box squat, based on all my other pulls, my sumo should have gone up. When I got up to 535, I thought it was going to be easy, and I thought I was going to keep going up. But one of the things I've got to note, the grip just slipped. As you guys watch, it came off the floor fast. Now this one is still ramping up. This one was light. And based on my other lifts, there's no reason that even the 535 should have been heavy. I hit it off of a deficit a few months ago. Right? The exact same weight on sumo of a small deficit. So I thought I was just going to go up, but it's not lack of strength that I've got to work on my grip. I had thought because my hook grip felt better and because I've been doing farmer's walks that I could quit doing other grip training, and guess what? Just not good enough. Just an issue if I just wasn't able to pinch it tight enough. There's a lot of factors at play, but I'm not going to make excuses. When we find our weak points, what do? We train them. All right? And for me, this is a weak point, not lack of strength. Got to work grip. Because watch, it comes off the floor nice and fast. Everything's good. Should locked, and then bam, just rolled and slipped. So I'm going to make excuses. I'm going to do grip training. So what do we need to do here? I need to work multiple forms of grip at this point. This is what I need in addition. I've just got to do pinch block work again. I quit doing it a couple months ago. My grip was stronger already, having done it. Because you guys have seen me lock more than that weight on chains and things like that. So here's what we have to do. More grip work. More grip work. In addition to all my farmer's carries. Now, is there another factor at play here? Yeah, I'm doing a lot of GPP work. But I'm not going to reduce that. I'm going to increase that. I'm going to have to just keep bringing up my work capacity. Is that going to create fatigue that can reduce grip? Yes, it can. That's one reason straps are a bad tool. Because straps let you cheat through that. They let you remove the signs of the high fatigue. Now, I can't quit training. Just because of that fatigue. I'm going to have to just adapt to it. Which means keep increasing my work capacity, get more sleep, keep my nutrition on point, and move forward with it. Don't make excuses, fix it. Now, I also haven't been doing really heavy pulls either. That's a factor. So I've built a lot of the musculature. I mean, based upon my box squats, we know my sumo deadlift should be going good. So what are we going to do? We're going to start doing more and more grip work in addition to my loaded carries every day, which I don't think work my particular grip strength weaknesses very effectively. But I need to keep doing them. I'm going to have to start incorporating more just the grip work. And I did it immediately after the deadlift. Why? Because it was the immediate obvious weak link. All right, that's an obvious weak link. It has to be addressed. It's going to have to be addressed seriously. Now, I'll keep using box squats, good mornings, speed pulls, all that to keep building my deadlift. My choice of lifts are going to reflect the fact that the grip is there. The grip's a problem. So when I'm picking max effort deadlifts every other week, what does that mean? It means we don't play with deficit work. We play with bands and chains. Because we need to make sure the grip is going up. We have to make sure the grip is going up. I've got to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we pick variations that are going to test my grip. And that's going to force me to train my grip if I want to see PRs. And that's the other thing. I really can't stand it when people come in and they make this excuse of, well, if you had just worn straps, you could have pulled whenever. You guys watched me do that last year and pulled a lot more than that. You know what? Doesn't work. That leaves a weakness there. Right? You don't put Band-Aid fixes over to get around your weaknesses like that. You train your weaknesses. You have to train them. If we want to get all around strong, we find every weakness that we have and we train it. And that's why the big three is a great test of overall strength, because it will find most of your weaknesses. It's a test of strength. You don't even necessarily train those lifts to get good at them. But when you test them, you see where your weaknesses are. Now we know based on my other lifts The deadlifts themselves are not going to be the weakness. It's not the other stuff. That, at this point with that, that's clearly just my grip needs more work. So more grip focus. And I can't play around with it now. Because now I'm accountable. Now I've failed on camera. Everybody watching. Right? It might even make it into gym fail videos. Everyone's watching. Now I have motivation to fix it. Right? Because that's the problem when everyone wants to hide their weaknesses. They only want to put when they succeed. They only want to put their best stuff up. Nobody wants to put their failures up when they're vlogging for their audience. Right? This is how you make yourself accountable. I've got to fix that. Because if I don't, next time it comes around and it happens again, everyone's going to say, Jason, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? So we fix it. Accountability. And that's one of the things too of when it comes to hiring a coach. I have actually, at least one of my clients has actually said that's the only reason they want a coach. They just want the accountability. You don't have an audience like this. They want accountability. And I give them that. You know, and that's the whole point. This is my accountability. Okay? We know I'm stronger than that. I pulled that off of a deficit with a hook grip when I was doing just a little bit of grip work a little while back. So the other thing is, of course, there is the fatigue issue. Now, could fatigue contribute to that from all the metabolic conditioning work? Sure it can. Sure it can. Do I think that's the only factor? No, I think it's a fact that I haven't been doing any direct grip work outside of the loaded carries, and I'm not doing them real heavy. You know, so just my normal pulling. Now, I will say that my thumbs feel good. My thumbs don't hurt from that at all. So my thumbs are now tough. My hook is not the limit. My hook is not the limit. My ability to grip around the hook and hold it in place is the limit. See, people have this weird misconception with the hook grip that they think it's like wearing straps. No, straps will hurt you and straps will still let you have a weak grip. Okay? This now I've got to actually get my grip strong, because what do we have to do? We have to be all around strong. We have to be strong at everything. So what am I doing here? PR on the box step ups. PR. Added 10 more pounds. It's not that much, just 65 pounds there. When you guys factor in that I weigh 220, that's 65 pounds up on my back, stepping up onto a 20-inch box like that. It puts me below parallel at the start. Pretty tough. Pretty tough. This is what you would expect for a 500-pound squatter, right? But I got to get those quads bigger. Because let's come to that other point. What's going to build my deadlift besides grip? My grip needs to improve tremendously. So that's why we did that first. Higher priority. My squats are limited by my quads. Does the box squat build the sumo deadlift? Yes, it does. So if I keep building my quads as a very, very high priority, what's going to happen? It'll build my box, it'll build my sumo deadlift. But if my sumo deadlift can't go up because of the lack of grip, that's not going to matter either. So grip work first, this second, and we keep that squat moving forward. So for a while, all of my max deadlifts from now on, because I have to pick which ones I'm going to do, we're not going to do deficit work. We're going to do band and chain rotations for the maxes. Because I've got to test that grip. I got to start overloading more weight there, and I've only done it twice. Twice I've gone heavier than that with chains. All right, I've done that already, but I was doing my pinch blocks for a little bit then. And we gotta keep doing it. We're gonna have to test that grip. That's going to be our test of it. First chains. Maybe next time, which will be in 2 weeks, we'll use chains, right? Then what do? And we go to bands. 2 weeks later, we'll go to heavier chains. And 2 weeks later, a heavier band. See where that limit is. Got to find that limit. But I'm going to have to do a lot of grip work. And that's okay. I can work it in. Grip work doesn't take that much time, not compared to all my conditioning work. GPP, metabolic conditioning, whatever we want to call it. It's all the same thing, isn't it? But these felt good today, and I really focused on most of them of trying to get that full lockout at the top. Really, really trying to hit that. And I made sure to do 1 extra rep on my weak leg, my left leg on the very last set. But these, I mean, they have a conditioning component, great strength component. I'll have a video coming out later discussing the merits of this. It's a great exercise. In fact, this is one we could even use as a Metcon. You could work it into a rotation, right, after between farmers carries and pull-ups and chin-ups and all the other stuff that we oftentimes do. Work it into a circuit. Like I said, of these in there. Do 10 by 10 of these during like your metabolic conditioning with just body weight. Right? That would add something. It'd be good exercise. But right now, we got to focus on progression with 10s. Progression. Got to get strong at them. Because if my quads grow, and my quads are growing. I feel like my quads are getting bigger. I think they are. And the squat will go up. And if the squat goes up, the other stuff can go up. But that's the thing, guys. My squat has actually done really well in the last few months. Like, we've hit some phenomenal PRs. It's been harder on the deadlifting and the benching, but here we go. We have to just get strong at everything. And if I can take what has been a success for the squatting and continue to apply it to the other lifts, right? Continue to apply it to the other lifts and just keep getting stronger. But it's important to remember, it's not always going to be easy. I'm not gaining weight. I'm not bulking. I'm trying to stay in this weight class and recomposition. You know, and so it's going to be a fight. We don't make excuses. We identify the problems. And that's what people need to understand. When I talk about the different things going on with the deadlift, we don't make excuses. We need to find out the reasons. We need to find out the causes, and we need to come up with solutions, right? Solution-based. Because even if I'm fatigued from all the metabolic conditioning, okay, fair enough. I'm going to be doing more of it, not less of it. I'm going to have to learn how to hit maxes around it. We're going to have to do maxes while still doing it because it's not going away. And I'm going to be doing double what I'm doing right now eventually. So it's a point where you have to suck it up. There's a point where you have to really find those weaknesses. And that's the other thing. You know, what happens when we start hitting the maxes? That's where you find your weaknesses. You cannot identify your weaknesses at 85%. You cannot identify your weaknesses at 80%. Not real weaknesses. We find them when we go heavier. Because, you know, if I were to just come and pull a bunch of singles with 500, that grip wouldn't have been a problem. You guys have watched me do stuff like that. We have to go above 90%. And until we do, we don't find our weakness. Same thing with my squat. That box squat the other day. The 482 looked good. The 502, which I got, we saw the weakness really come out. I got the lift. It was a good lift. But we could see the quad weakness. Right? Just like on that deficit deadlift the other day. Mid-back weakness. So that's what we address right now because we know that's a weakness on one of my deadlift variants. Do some real good mornings. I've been doing a lot of them with bands. That's with the other thing. The safety bar. Thought, let me just do some straight weight on the safety bar, get that deep range of motion. I ramped up a couple of warm-ups, see how they felt. And then I went up to 225, which is what I have on there right now. Or is it 205? Actually, I believe it's 205. Doesn't even matter. It was hard. All right, sets of 10 with this, and yeah, it is 205 now that I'm looking. Because again, that's a 65-pound bar. This was challenging for sets of 10. This was hard. I felt it. So again, bringing up those weak links, bringing them up. So we have to use the good mornings to keep building the deadlift also, right? We use all the other tools. We work the grip, but that doesn't mean we don't do direct hypertrophy work for all the back, and the posterior chain, and everything else. That stuff still has to keep coming up. Right? We need big, thick erectors, traps, lats, hamstrings, right? For every form of deadlift, not just sumo, conventional, everything. Those muscles have to grow. We've got to come in and do heavy high rep training for them. Okay, so I'm going to mess with these now a little bit. I like the bands and chains. They're fun. They're great. They get good blood flow sometimes, but I also need to make sure I'm working that bottom position hard too. Need to put some direct tension there to really get the back, right? To really get that back. So Again, making it all work. And I went with this because it's easier on my shoulders. I might even have to go with that on those step ups now that I'm at this same weight, just because it's easier on the shoulders. I've got to save my shoulders. But you know what, guys? We identified the weak points today. We start working them, and we keep moving forward. Solutions, not excuses. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.